So, all right, so here's how our creative achievement questionnaire works. What we did essentially was we thought up how many domains there are in which you might be creative. And this is, remember, when you're designing a questionnaire, you want to be over-inclusive because the statistics will take care of it, right? So you can take a big area of potential, you can take a large area and aim your questionnaire at it, and you can do statistics post hoc to see if you're covering the area. If the things that you're measuring are nicely correlated, there's something about them that's similar. If they're not correlated, then maybe you're measuring two different things and you can get rid of one of them. That's fine. So we did start with a pretty wide range. We thought, okay, well, what domains can you be creative in? Visual arts, painting and sculpture. Then we had experts sort of rank order levels of achievement within those domains. And so if you were a painter, you could, 0 gives you, I have no training or recognized talent in this area. Okay, so you really want to keep an eye on the zeros, all right? So then I have taken lessons, people have commented on my talents, I have won a prize, my work has been critiqued in national publications. All right, so you get 0 to 7 points, but you can indicate more than, maybe that's happened to you more than once. So, and what happens, this is interesting, is that the higher you are up in this hierarchy, the more likely it is that those things have happened to you more than once. And that's another example of this weird thing called the Pareto principle or Price's law, which is that it's sort of, as good things happen to you, the probability that more good things will happen increases. Right, so because once you're famous, people give you all sorts of opportunities to do other things, right? So your success doesn't go like this. It goes like this, 0, 0, 0, skyrocket. That's how it works. But getting from 0 to 1, if you're starting a business, the hardest customer you'll ever get is your first one, and then the second hardest one will be your second one. It's virtually impossible to get a first customer because they're going to say to you, first of all, you're going to be selling to people who are basically conservative. And they're not going to be willing or able to evaluate whether your damn product is good for anything. And so they'll say, well, who are your other customers? And if your answer to that is, well, we don't have any, it's like, well, then what? They're going to be the first one. No, because people don't stick their necks out at all, not a bit, ever. And so unless you're well established in the market, especially if you're dealing with a big company, you can just bloody well forget it. It's like a 3-year sales cycle anyways. It's because big corporations move very, very slowly. And you might be able to find a small company that doesn't have much money who would be willing to use your stupid product for nothing if you're really nice to them. And you can get one customer that way. It's very, very difficult. And so you'll end up, and what do you think the royalty, just out of curiosity? So I've written a book. It's going to be published by Penguin Random House in January. What do you think the royalty is for an author on a book? So you make something creative. You get a percentage of the sale. What do you think the percentage is? Just out of curiosity. Guess.
7.
Yeah, it's like 5%. So think about that. So that means that you make your thing and 95% of it belongs to someone else. And that's if things are going quite well for you. And it doesn't really matter what you manufacture or produce. That's about what you can expect. Sales, marketing, distribution, it eats it all up. So well, anyways, you need to know these things because they're not self-evident. Okay, so seems to be working all by itself. All right, so let's take a look. Well, how else can you have creative achievement? Well, you can be a musician. I have no training or recognized talent. Recordings of my composition have been sold publicly. That's the top end. My composition has been copyrighted, recorded, critiqued in a local publication. I have composed an original piece of music. Well, let's try this. How many of you have composed an original piece of music? Wow, there's lots of creative people in here. That's very impressive. So there must be 10 or 11 people in here. Oh, that's cool. So how about your composition has been copyrighted? How about it's been, the recordings have been sold publicly and actually sold? How many people? 2? 2. Okay. Well, so what you can see is there's a rapid drop-off in the number of people who say yes. How many of you fit into category 0? I have no training or recognized talent in this area. Yeah, okay. 0 is the median score on all of these. Median is the score that's the most likely for people to have, right? It's different than the mean. Median score is 0. So what's the median score in the entire creative achievement questionnaire? 0. You add up over all 13 domains, the most typical score is 0. So that's how creative people are. They're 0 creative.